This is not a book of magic. It is a book of awareness. Think of it as an operator's manual for a radio you've always carried within you, one you were never taught to tune. The static you've grown used to is not silence. It is a language. Every whisper, every pause, every quiet hum in the background has been speaking to you all along. Most people never notice it. They dismiss it, call it noise. But you are about to hear it clearly. What you're about to listen to will shift the way you experience the world. By the end of this book, even silence will sound different. The moments you thought were empty will reveal meaning. The static will become signal. Few ever discover this. Fewer still take the time to listen. That is why you are here. Something in you already knows there is more. So lean in, close your eyes if you like. Imagine your hand resting on the dial of that inner radio. Slowly, carefully, you begin to turn it. The signal sharpens. The messages grow stronger. And now, you are ready to listen. Let's begin. Introduction. The whisper you mistook for silence. You have felt it. That flicker in the periphery of your consciousness. A nudge so gentle, you almost convinced yourself it was nothing. Don't dismiss it. That sudden, inexplicable urge to take a different route home, a thought that feels less like a thought and more like a download, only to find you've avoided a massive traffic jam that never made it to the news. The name of an old friend popping into your head out of the blue, a memory surfacing with such vividness it feels present, moments before your phone lights up with their call. The profound, humbling sense of peace that washes over you when you stand under a sky dense with stars. A feeling that for a fleeting, perfect moment, everything is connected, everything has a place, and it all makes a terrifying, beautiful sense. We have all experienced these moments, these subtle winks from existence. And what do? We modern, rational, busy humans. We call them coincidence. We call them intuition. We call it luck. We file them away as curious anomalies in an otherwise predictable and mechanical world. We dismiss the whisper because we are waiting for a shout. We are waiting for a burning bush, a voice from the heavens, a dramatic, undeniable sign written in the clouds. And in our waiting for the grand performance, we miss the entire, exquisite conversation happening right in front of us, within us, and all around us, in every single moment. The universe is not silent. It is a constant, flowing, dynamic broadcast of information, energy, and connection, communicating on a frequency of feeling, intention, and synchronicity. The problem has never been a lack of transmission. The problem is entirely with our receiver. Our modern world is a cathedral of noise, a relentless barrage of notifications, the low-grade hum of anxiety, the internal, looping monologue of our to-do lists, our regrets, our endless planning and worrying. This cacophony acts as a thick, insulating static, drowning out the subtle, consistent, and infinitely patient signal of the cosmos. We have forgotten how to listen. Worse, we have forgotten that we are meant to be active, participatory voices in this dialogue, not just passive observers waiting for a billboard from the divine. This profound disconnection creates a deep, often unacknowledged, spiritual loneliness. It's the feeling of shouting into a vast, cold void and hearing nothing in return, which solidifies the belief that we are truly, fundamentally, alone. This isolation is the great illusion of our time, the source of so much quiet despair. This book is a guide to ending that loneliness. It is a manual for moving from a perception of random, chaotic existence to an authentic experience of conscious, deliberate conversation with the very fabric of reality. We will explore the vocabulary of the universe, a language forged, not of words, but of resonant feelings, meaningful symbols, telling patterns, and pure energy. This is not about learning to speak at the universe with chants or demands, as if negotiating with a celestial vending machine. It is about learning to communicate with it through the state of your being. It is a Stoic art, requiring not blind faith, but disciplined attention, radical personal responsibility, and a courageous willingness to participate. It is about aligning your internal state, the energy you emit from your very core, with the external reality you wish to meet halfway. The universe responds not to the words you say, but to the emotional and energetic signature you broadcast. Not to your desperate pleas, but to your grounded posture. This conversation is the most fundamental relationship of your life, more primary than any other, and like any profound relationship, it requires understanding, respect, vulnerability, and consistent practice. It is time to quiet the static within, to lean into the quiet, and to learn your native tongue. The first step is the simplest and the most profound. Accepting, as an act of will, that the whisper you've been ignoring was never silenced to begin with. It was always the first word. Chapter 1. The Static and the Signal. You are already receiving, but you're tuned to the wrong station, convinced the frantic, fear-based news channel is the only one broadcasting. I learned this not in a moment of blissful enlightenment, but in one of pure, human frustration. I was trapped in gridlock traffic, late for a meeting I deeply dreaded, the kind that promises nothing but conflict. My knuckles were white on the steering wheel, my jaw was clenched tight enough to ache, and my mind was a riot of frantic calculations and seething anger at every other driver on the road. I was a walking, breathing transmitter of chaotic, negative energy, a shriek of pure static into the ether. And my reality, that perfect mirror, reflected it back to me with impeccable accuracy. A sea of red brake lights, the angry symphony of honking horns, immovable obstacles. I was stuck because my energy was stuck, dense, heavy, and closed. Then, something broke. Not the traffic, but me. A wave of exhaustion washed over the anger. I exhaled a breath I felt I'd been holding for years, turned off the blaring news radio, and stopped fighting the immutable reality of my situation. I surrendered. I just sat there, in the sudden and shocking silence of my own car and my own mind. In that space of surrender, something shifted. It wasn't the universe that moved. It was me. I had changed my dial from 101.3 FM panic to something quieter, something receptive. Minutes later, an ambulance needed to get through up ahead. In a coordinated, almost graceful wave, cars began to shift. An unexpected path opened up on the shoulder, and without a second thought, I gently nudged my car into it. It was a route I never used, a back road I'd always ignored, but it led me on a straight, unimpeded line to my destination. I arrived not in a state of panicked, apologetic stress, but in a calm, collected readiness. The meeting, as fate would have it, had been canceled the moment I'd finally stopped struggling. The universe hadn't changed its broadcast. The traffic, the ambulance, the canceled meeting, it was all already there in the signal. I had finally, blessedly, changed my receiver to a frequency that could perceive the opportunity woven into the obstacle. This is the core of the entire practice, understanding that your internal state is your primary transmitter. Every thought, every simmering resentment, every spike of anxiety, every deeply held belief of lack or unworthiness is a frequency you are emitting into the cosmos. Fear, worry, desperation, and anger are dense, low-frequency, chaotic signals. They create a feedback loop, attracting and manufacturing more things to fear, more reasons to worry. They are the static that overwhelms the clearer, higher-frequency signals of opportunity, guidance, and peace. The universe, in its unwavering and stoic neutrality, simply mirrors back the energy you send out. It is the ultimate impartial reflector, showing you not what you want, but what you are in your deepest core. If your life feels chaotic, hostile, and stuck, the first and only place to look is not outward at a malicious world, but inward at the signal you are generating. You cannot receive clarity, grace, or flow while you are broadcasting a torrent of interference. Learning to talk to the universe begins, paradoxically, not with speaking, but with listening. And to listen, you must first, consciously and deliberately, create silence. This is the foundational practice. The daily, non-negotiable cultivation of inner quiet. It is in the sacred space between your thoughts that the signal comes through clearest. It doesn't require you to become a monk. It can be 5 minutes of morning silence with your coffee, where you truly taste it, feel the warmth of the mug, and do nothing else. It can be a walk without headphones, simply noticing the feeling of your feet on the ground, the sound of the wind, the quality of the light. In these moments, you are not seeking an answer. You are simply tuning the receiver, wiping the dust off the antenna, and allowing the static to settle. You are declaring, through your actions, that you are ready to hear something other than the noise of your own mind. This act of intentional quiet is the first and most respectful sentence you can speak in this cosmic conversation. It says, "I am here, and I am ready to listen." Chapter 2. The Vocabulary of Reality. Energy as Language. Words are clumsy things. They are approximations, often failing to capture the depth of a feeling or the nuance of a thought. We think because we can name a thing, we understand it, but this is an illusion of the ego. The universe does not operate on the language of English, Spanish, or Mandarin. Its native tongue is energy. This is not an esoteric concept. It is the most practical and fundamental law of existence. Everything, every object, every thought, every emotion, every person vibrates at a specific frequency. Your anger has a distinct energy signature, dense and hot. Your joy has another, light and expansive. A forest after a rain has a frequency. So does a crowded subway car. You are constantly reading these energies, and you are constantly broadcasting your own. This is the true vocabulary of reality. And you are already fluent. You've just forgotten you're speaking it. Think of the last time you walked into a room after an argument. No one had to say a word. You felt it. The air was thick, charged, heavy. You absorbed that energy immediately, and it likely changed your own. Conversely, think of walking into a celebration, a party where people are genuinely connected and happy. The energy is light, buzzing, inviting. You relax into it. This is you, effortlessly reading the energy of a situation. Now, turn that awareness inward. Is it the hurried, frantic energy of overwhelm? The low, gray energy of resignation? The sharp, brittle energy of anxiety? This is what you are communicating to the universe, every second of every day. You are saying, "This is my truth. This is what I am. Match me." And the universe, being the impeccable mirror it is, complies. It has no choice. It can only reflect back the energy you emit. To consciously engage in the cosmic conversation, you must first become a master of your own energy. This is where intention comes in. Intention is the conscious choice of what energy you wish to embody. It is the difference between waking up and letting the day happen to you, and waking up and stating, "Today, I will move through the world with a calm and open heart." That statement is not an affirmation you hope will magically change the world. It is a command to your own being to align with the frequency of calm and openness. You will then act in ways that are congruent with that energy. You will breathe deeply when traffic is bad. You will listen patiently to a colleague. You will not let small irritations hijack your state. You are, through disciplined intention, choosing your vibrational vocabulary for the day. You are deciding whether you will speak to the universe in the language of lack or the language of abundance, in the dialect of fear or the dialect of trust. This is not about pretending to be happy when you're not. It is about acknowledging a feeling fear, for example, and then consciously making the choice. I feel fear, but I intend to act from courage. You change the energy by changing the action, and the feeling follows. When you consistently speak the language of positive, open, and trusting energy, the universe has no option but to reflect that back to you in the form of experiences, people, and opportunities that are a vibrational match. You are not asking for anything. You are being the thing you seek, and the conversation flows from that state of being. You are speaking its language fluently. Chapter 3. The Art of the Ask. Intention over Invention. We are taught to pray with wish lists. We are taught to manifest by writing detailed scripts for how we want our lives to go. We clench our fists, squeeze our eyes shut, and project our desires into the sky like a list of demands presented to a cosmic manager. This approach is born from a place of lack, of believing we are separate from what we want, and it creates an energy of desperation that the universe can only reflect back as more lack. The true art of asking in the cosmic conversation has nothing to do with the specifics of what you want, and everything to do with the feeling you believe having it will give you. This is the critical shift from invention to intention. Invention is you, from your limited human perspective, trying to design the perfect solution. Intention is you connecting to the infinite field of possibility and stating the essential quality of experience you wish to have. Let's say you want a new job. The invented ask sounds like, Universe, give me a job as a senior project manager at a tech startup in the city, with a salary of $120,000, remote work on Fridays, and a blue office. This is incredibly specific, and in its specificity, it is incredibly limiting. You have just closed 1,000,000 doors that could lead to your fulfillment because you've decided only one specific door is acceptable. What if the perfect job for you is as a director at a nonprofit, or leading a team at an established company that offers more peace than a startup? You've blocked it because it doesn't fit the invented script. Now, consider the intentional ask. You sit quietly, and you ask yourself, why do I want a new job? The answers come. I want to feel valued for my expertise. I want to feel creative and engaged in my work. I want financial security and the freedom it brings. I want to work with a team that feels like a community. These are your intentions. These are the frequencies you wish to experience. So your ask to the universe becomes, Universe, guide me toward an opportunity where I am valued, where my creativity is engaged, and where I can experience true financial security and camaraderie. Do you see the profound difference? You are no longer micromanaging God. You are stating the desired energy, and then opening yourself to the infinite number of ways that energy can manifest. You are moving from a place of control to a place of trust. This is the Stoic heart of the ask. You focus on your intention, the quality of your character and experience, and you release your attachment to the specific form it takes. You do your part. You update your resume. You network. You apply for jobs that feel aligned with that energy. But you release the white-knuckled grip on the how and the when. This act of release is not passive. It is an active trust in the intelligence of the process. It is saying, I am holding the intention of valued, creative, secure work. I am taking action toward that. I trust that you will orchestrate the details in a way that is for my highest good, even if I cannot see the pattern yet. This kind of ask is heard clearly because it is broadcast on the frequency of trust and openness, not lack and control. It is an invitation to co-create, not a demand to perform. It is the difference of speaking with the universe instead of at it. Chapter 4. The Stoic Surrender, Action and Release. There is a grand misunderstanding at the heart of modern spirituality, a dangerous line that is often crossed from faith into passivity. It is the idea that if you just manifest correctly, you can sit on your couch and your dreams will fall into your lap. This is not only foolish, it is a complete misreading of how the conversation works. The universe is not a delivery service for lazy desires. It is a cooperative partnership. The ancient Stoics understood this better than anyone. Their philosophy was not one of quiet resignation, but of vigorous action within the realm of their control, coupled with a serene acceptance of everything outside of it. This is the perfect model for the cosmic conversation. Focused effort followed by total release. Your work is in the action. The universe's work is in the outcome. You must hold both ends of this rope with equal strength. To ask the universe for a new job and then not update your resume is not faith. It is self-sabotage. It is like shouting into a canyon for an echo, but refusing to make a sound. Action is how you speak the universe's language. It is you putting your energy where your intention is. It is you moving your feet so that the universe can guide your steps. Taking aligned, inspired action is the physical expression of your belief that what you are asking for is already on its way. It is you meeting the universe halfway. This action must be taken not from a place of frantic striving, but from a place of grounded confidence. You act as if you are the person who already has what you need, not in arrogance, but in alignment. You act with integrity, with diligence, and with care, because your actions are your broadcast. Then, and this is the crucial second half, you must release your grip on the outcome. This is the surrender. This is where you acknowledge that you are not the master of the world, only of your efforts within it. You have planted the seeds with your intention and watered them with your action. Now, you do not dig them up every day to see if they have grown. You trust the sun and the soil, the processes of the universe, to do their part. This release is not giving up. It is the ultimate act of trust. It is understanding that the universe's timing and methods are often superior to your own limited imagination. You may ask for a job and get laid off instead, an event that feels like a catastrophe but is actually the universe creating the necessary vacuum for something new to enter. Surrender is accepting that possibility. It is saying, I have done all I can do. I now release this into your care, and I trust that the result, whatever it is serving my growth. This combination, ferocious action and serene release, is the most powerful posture you can adopt. It makes you a formidable co-creator. It proves you are serious about the conversation, not just the result. You are invested in the process, not just the prize. This is how you demonstrate your trust, and the universe always responds to trust. Chapter 5. Reading the Signs. The world is annotated. The universe is constantly speaking to us, but it rarely uses words. Its primary methods are symbolism, repetition, and the seemingly chance encounter, what the psychologist Carl Jung termed synchronicity, or meaningful coincidence. Learning to read these signs is like learning to see a hidden layer of text written over the world. A layer of annotation that provides guidance, confirmation, and warning. The world is not a blank slate. It is a deeply intelligent, responsive system that is always providing feedback. Your job is to learn to perceive it. A sign is not a random event you force meaning onto. A true sign arrives with a feeling, a punch of recognition in your gut, or a chill down your spine. It feels personally significant. The most common language of signs is repetition. You set an intention to focus on abundance, and suddenly you see the word everywhere, on a license plate, in a song lyric, on the side of a passing truck. You think of an old concept, and a book falls off a shelf in front of you that is about exactly that. You have a question on your heart, and you turn on the radio to hear a stranger articulating the answer. These are not coincidences. This is the universe's way of saying, you are on the right frequency. Keep going. I am here. It is a wink, a nod, a confirmation that you are heard, and that you are moving in alignment. Animals, numbers, and songs are also common messengers. A hawk appearing repeatedly might be a sign to see your life from a higher perspective. Repeating number sequences like 1111 or 333 are often seen as alignment markers. A song from your past coming on at a precise moment can carry a specific message. The key to interpretation is always your own intuition. What does that symbol mean to you? A spider might be a sign of creativity to one person and fear to another. You must build your own symbolic dictionary based on your feelings and associations. The more you pay attention, the more fluent you become. Start by asking for clarity on small things. Universe, if I should take this job, show me a green bird. It doesn't have to be a green bird, but pick something unlikely. Then, go about your day. If you see a green bird, a picture of one, or someone mentions it, pay attention. This is a conversation. You ask, you listen, you receive an answer. This practice trains your mind to look for the annotations. It proves to your rational brain that there is a pattern at work. Soon, you will begin to see the guiding hand everywhere, not as a controller of your life, but as a companion on your journey, constantly offering clues and confirming you are never, ever walking alone. The world becomes a living, breathing document of your conversation. Chapter 6. The Grammar of Gratitude. The Amplifier Frequency. If there is one frequency the universe responds to most powerfully, it is gratitude. Gratitude is not a passive emotion. It is an active state of recognition. It is the profound acknowledgement that good exists in your life right now, independent of any future outcome. It is the ultimate statement of trust and abundance. When you express genuine gratitude, you are not just saying thank you for a thing. You are broadcasting a powerful signal that says, I am aware of the good. More of this, please. You are tuning your receiver to the channel of abundance, and the universe has no choice but to match that signal and send you more things to be grateful for. Gratitude works because it forcefully shifts your perspective from what is lacking to what is present. The mind cannot easily focus on lack and abundance simultaneously. It's like trying to feel hot and cold in the same spot on your skin. One will dominate. By consciously practicing gratitude, you are choosing abundance as your dominant state. You are not doing this to manipulate the universe into giving you more that would be coming from a place of lack, but because it is the truest reflection of reality. Even on your worst day, there is something to be grateful for. The air in your lungs, the roof over your head, the cup of coffee in your hand. Focusing on these things isn't Pollyannish. It is Stoic. It is a disciplined practice of anchoring yourself in what is real and good, rather than being tossed about by the waves of what is missing or desired. Make gratitude a daily, non-negotiable ritual. This is the grammar that structures your entire conversation. It doesn't have to be elaborate. Every morning before you rise, name 3 things you are genuinely grateful for. Feel the feeling of gratitude for them in your body. Every evening before you sleep, do the same. Write them down in a journal if you can. The act of writing solidifies the energy. When you receive a sign, say, "Thank you," out loud. When a small wish is granted, acknowledge it with gratitude. This practice does 2 things. First, it transforms you. It makes you a happier, more resilient person, regardless of what the universe sends your way. Second, it amplifies everything. It is like turning up the volume on the positive aspects of your life. The universe sees that you appreciate the small things, and in its generosity, it entrusts you with larger things. Gratitude is the highest frequency response to life, and it ensures the conversation continues to flow in both directions, not just with requests, but with appreciation, creating a virtuous cycle of giving and receiving that forms the very heart of a conscious life. Chapter 7. Silence as the strongest statement. We live in a world that worships noise. We equate talking with power, with presence, with validity. We fill every empty space with sound, with music, with podcasts, with chatter, terrified of what we might hear in the silence. But in the cosmic conversation, silence is not an absence of communication. It is the most potent form of it. It is the space between the notes that makes the music. It is the canvas upon which the universe paints its most subtle and profound messages. To master this dialogue, you must not only learn to speak and listen, but to embrace the sacred power of the pause. Silence is where integration happens. You can ask for guidance, set powerful intentions, and take aligned action. But if you never stop to just be, it is like constantly shouting orders without ever pausing to see if they've been heard or understood. The chaos of constant doing creates static that drowns out the reply. Silence is the act of turning off your own transmitter completely so you can receive the clearest signal. It is an act of deep trust to be silent. It says, "I have spoken my piece. I am now open and receptive to your wisdom. I am not here to demand or dictate. I am here to converse." In this space, the universe does its best work. Insights download. Clarity emerges from the fog. The knot of a problem unravels on its own, not because you forced it, but because you stopped pulling on the strings. Cultivating a practice of intentional silence is therefore not a passive retreat from the world. It is an active engagement with a deeper layer of it. This can be formal meditation, but it can also be sitting in nature without a phone, watching the clouds without labeling them. It can be drinking your tea and only drinking your tea. It is the practice of single tasking, of bringing your full, silent attention to one thing. In these moments, you are not seeking anything. You are simply being present, and it is in that pure presence that you become a perfect conduit. You might not hear a voice, But you might feel a sudden knowing, a wave of peace that tells you everything is okay, or a spontaneous inspiration for what to do next. This is the universe speaking in the language of felt experience, a language that can only be heard in the quiet. By valuing silence, you communicate your respect for the process. You show that you are not a needy child demanding constant attention, but a respectful partner capable of sitting in quiet companionship. This maturity in the conversation invites a deeper, more profound level of guidance. Your strongest statement of faith is not what you say, but your ability to be comfortably, confidently, silent. Chapter 8. When the answer is no, the curriculum of redirection. You will not always get what you ask for. This is not a failure of the process. It is the process itself. The universe is not a genie. It is a guide. And a good guide sometimes says no to a path that leads to a cliff, or not yet, to a journey you are not prepared for. A no is not a rejection. It is a redirection. It is often the most protective and loving response you can receive, though in the moment it feels like a door slammed in your face. The pain of a no comes from our attachment to our invented outcome, our specific script for how happiness should look. The growth comes from releasing that script and trusting the curriculum of the redirection. Every no contains a lesson. Your job is to find it. You asked for a specific job and didn't get it. The universe's no might be saving you from a toxic manager, a company about to fail, or a role that would have stifled your true gifts. It might be forcing you to develop more skills, to build more patience, or to confront a deep-seated fear of failure. The no is not about the job. It's about you. It is an invitation to grow in a way you wouldn't have if you'd gotten the easy yes. The Stoic response to a no is not to rail against fate, but to ask with curiosity, what is this trying to teach me? How can I become stronger here? What door is closing so that a better one can open? This reframes the experience from a personal failure to a divine lesson. Accepting a no with grace is a supreme act of trust. It is you saying, I see that my vision was limited. I trust that your vision for my life is greater than my own. I release my plan and open myself to yours. This does not mean you shouldn't feel disappointment. Feel it fully. But then, let it go. Don't let it fester into resentment, which will only lower your frequency and attract more no's. Process the emotion, extract the lesson, and recalibrate your intention. Perhaps your intention wasn't wrong, but your desired method was. Return to the feeling you were after: security, creativity, value, and hold that intention even more tightly, but release your attachment to the form it must take. A no is often the universe's way of clearing the clutter from your path so you can see the true destination more clearly. It is not a stop sign. It is a detour onto a more scenic route that you didn't know existed. Trust the detour. Chapter 9. Co-creating your reality. The dialogue of doing. The cosmic conversation is not a spectator sport. You are not meant to sit on the sidelines of your life, praying for a miracle while doing nothing. That is spiritual bypassing. True co-creation is a dynamic dance between receiving and acting, between listening and doing. The universe provides the inspiration, the opportunity, and the synchronicity. You provide the action, the courage, and the feet on the ground. It is a dialogue where energy is met with effort, and intention is made manifest through initiative. Think of it like this. The universe can send a downpour of rain, opportunity, but it cannot build the ark for you. You must build the ark. The inspiration to build it, the sudden idea, the blueprint that pops into your head, that's the universe's part. The gathering of the wood, the hammering of the nails, the daily labor, even when you're tired, that's your part. Both are essential. Without the rain, the ark is useless. Without the ark, the rain is wasted. When you have an inspired idea, a nudge to call someone, a sudden urge to look into a new course of study, that is the universe speaking. That is your cue to move. To ignore that nudge is to break the flow of the conversation. It is like asking for a sign and then refusing to look at it. Co-creation means living in a state of alert readiness. It means following the energy. If an opportunity presents itself and it feels light and expansive, you take a step toward it, even if it feels scary. That step is your answer to the universe's call. It is you saying, "I heard you, and I am acting in faith." Each step you take creates momentum, and the universe responds to momentum by lining up the next synchronicity, introducing you to the next person, providing the next resource. You are in a constant feedback loop. Inspiration, action, result, new inspiration. Your action is your language. It tells the universe you are serious, you are committed, and you are ready to play your part. This is how you move from being a passenger in your life to the co-pilot. You are not in control of the weather, but you are most definitely at the helm, steering the ship in partnership with the wind and the currents. You are having a true dialogue, a constant exchange of energy and effort that shapes a reality that is truly your own creation. Chapter 10. Living the Conversation, the Unending Dialogue. This is not a journey with a finish line. There is no certificate of mastery in talking to the universe. No final exam where you prove you've figured it all out. The cosmic conversation is the journey itself. It is the unending, ever-deepening dialogue that becomes the backdrop of your entire life. It starts as a practice, something you have to remember to do, and it slowly evolves into a state of being a default way of moving through the world with awareness, trust, and a quiet sense of partnership with the infinite. The goal is not to live a life free of problems, but to navigate all of life, the good, the bad, the mundane, the extraordinary, with the unshakable, knowing that you are in conversation with it all. A challenge is no longer a random disaster. It is a question posed to you by the universe. How will you respond to this? What will you learn here? A moment of joy is no longer a fleeting accident. It is a gift to be fully received and acknowledged with gratitude. The line between the spiritual and the mundane begins to blur. You don't have to be on a meditation cushion to be connected. You can be connected while washing the dishes, while in a business meeting, while stuck in traffic. The conversation is always available, because the universe is always present. This is the ultimate freedom, to live without the crushing weight of isolation, to know that you are never alone in the struggle, to feel guided, supported, and challenged by an intelligence far greater than yourself. It is to become a stoic partner in your own existence, taking radical responsibility for your energy and your actions, while surrendering with grace to the larger current that carries you. You will have days where the signal is clear and the signs are abundant. You will have days where the static returns and everything feels silent. This is normal. This is the rhythm of any long-term relationship. The work is to keep showing up, to keep setting your intention each morning, to keep taking aligned action, to keep saying, "Thank you," to keep trusting the no's and celebrating the yeses, to keep listening in the silence. This is how you live the conversation. It never ends. It simply deepens, becomes more nuanced, more beautiful, and more true, until you realize that you are not having a conversation with the universe. You are the universe, conversing with itself, and the dialogue is eternal.